I'm on the hunt for water. I've tried 3 different gas stations. One that I was using before, they had the tap shut off. I guess maybe I'm not the only one coming to get water. I tried it and it was shut off. I tried 2 other gas stations. One didn't have an exterior tap that I could see, and the other one didn't have the handle to turn the tap. So I used the iOverlander app, and they said that there was a water source down at a waterfront park, but they also said it was seasonal. They took the tap off of it, so you can't get water, which is really unfortunate at this point for myself. I understand why they do that, because they shut the water off for the winter. However, it just makes life as a nomad that much more difficult. Now, my other option, of course, is to go in and purchase water, but it's sort of become the principle of the thing. I know there's another huge park down at the other end of town, in all likelihood has water taps as well. Pretty much any park that has washrooms will have a tap outside, but they don't open them until around the May 24 weekend. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for water. I don't use a lot of water because I haven't been doing a lot of cooking and stuff. There are other sources. You can go to a lake or a river and you can filter water, which is something that I've been thinking about. I do have a pump. I have to get a new filter for that, which wouldn't be a bad idea to have on board for these cases, because the filtered water tastes really good and the lakes and rivers around here are clean. I know that 4 Mile Lake has a beaver dam in it. That one would definitely be out because I'm not willing to risk giardia. Notice that there's a beaver dam over there, and that means that there's likely giardia in this water, so it's not safe to drink. You can collect rainwater from your roof for whenever it rains, but in a small car that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. A lot of the time when you go into some laundromats will have a sink, the older laundromats in small towns. That is an option. So if you're going to go in and do laundry, you can go and get yourself a jug of water, because until the May 24 weekend in Canada, none of these washrooms are open, which means the water is not turned on. That creates a bit of an issue. But I'm so disappointed in the water situation. I ended up buying a couple of those 2-liter jugs, and they're easier to handle, but instead of having 1 4-liter, I've got 4 of them. Now I have to dispose of the plastic bottles once they're empty. That I find really annoying. That's why I like the 4-liter jug. As annoying as it is to, tip it out and stuff like that, I only have to dispose of 1 plastic bottle as opposed to 4 or 5. I opted not to get a case of the single serve ones because of just that reason. Because you drink one, then you've got this bottle that you've got to get rid of. Water is becoming a huge commodity in today's world, especially drinking water. I looked at purchasing a refillable 4-liter one, but the cap on it was just one of those things that you press on. So I think this is one of those jugs that you take this blue cap off and you turn it upside down on a stand, like a water thing, and it just goes glug, 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 that type of thing. So there was no way to put a cap on it, and being in a moving car, that wasn't a good idea. And there was no way that I could cap it tightly. If it tips over in the car, I'm gonna have water everywhere. I don't want water everywhere. The other place that you may be able to get water is an RV dump station. Now, I haven't checked those out, but that is one of the things that's kind of on the list. Campsites also have running water, but again, they're only open from mid-May to mid-October. So during the winter months, you're really, really restricted as to where you can get water. And usually you end up buying it because that is really your only choice. Your other option is to gather a bucket of water and boil it. And then it's perfectly safe. It's actually safer than any filter or anything that you could possibly do. Scoop some water out of a lake or a river and boil the crap out of it, and you're good to go. You've killed any bacteria. Now, in winter, you have the availability of snow. If you put a little bit of water in the bottom and then put your snow in the pot, it will melt a lot faster. Water taps, campsites, gas stations, or you can just buy your water and make it really, really simple. Now, I noticed in the Y they have a bottle refill, and I believe it'll hold bottles about this size. That'll give me one spot that I can get water. Oh, springs. We haven't spoken about springs. That's another source. If you can get a local to divulge where they get their spring water from, that would be awesome, because I would go there all the time. And there's springs all over the place. You just gotta know where they are or find them. When I lived in New Hamburg, and I lived there about 13, 14 years, occasionally he and I would go for a drive out to Winterbourne, and there was a spring there that somebody had put a pipe on. So they made it like a tap. And the funny thing about that was somebody put a sign up, "Did you turn off the tap?" And it's amazing how many people will go back to try and turn off the tap. And there wasn't one. It just, because it was a spring, it just ran and ran and ran. It was kind of funny. Another place to get water that I see is a possibility. Actually, we're going right by it, so let's check it out. There's a baseball field with a concession stand. That may very well be another source to get water. It's probably close, but they do have a washroom. We're just going to take a little walk around the building just to see if there's a tap. There's a fire hydrant. They're getting water. Oh, look at that. There is one. Running. Check out baseball diamond. Okay, so it looks like the free water sources that a nomad would have access to are mostly seasonal. Otherwise, if you know of any place that runs during the winter months, please leave a note in the comments, because I'd love to add it to my list. So far we have, the number one choice for me is the parks where there's a washroom. So parks, ball fields, sports fields that have washroom. Any place that has a washroom facility, 99% of the time is going to have an outside tap. You can also check garages, so car repair shops that are tiny. If you go in and you ask the owner, "Hey, do you mind if I fill up my jug of water?" I'm sure that they would say yes. You might even be able to go into the big dealerships to do that as well. Maybe if you're getting an oil change or tire change or something like that, something repaired on your vehicle, you just say, "Hey, do you mind if I use your water to fill up my water jugs?" If you're getting repairs done, I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem. Another spot that I wanted to check out on my way away from this park, but I'm loath to leave it because it's so pretty here. Another spot is a car wash. They run year-round, especially the DIY ones where you pull your car into a garage and you grab the hose and you do the work yourself. I'm going to check and see if they have a water tap. Now, some of them have an attached room where you could take a jug in and pay, $2-3 or whatever, and fill your water jugs. So there's an option there as well. But some of the smaller ones may just have a water tap on the outside. And because there's not usually an attendant there, there's really nobody to ask, and I can't see it being a real problem to fill up your water. I had a blast doing research for this video, and I even discovered a few places that I hadn't thought of earlier. It pays to do a little legwork, but ultimately you'll have to do your own legwork to find water in your area, be it a spring or water taps in a park, or at the gym where you have a membership, or just going to the local grocery store or a Walmart and buying the water. It's still up to you to find it. You're going to want to stick around for the next video in this series of car living and car life. It's probably going to be on connectivity. That one I found really interesting myself, and I've learned a lot. You might also want to get caught up if you haven't seen my other videos in the series. I'll put up a playlist right here so that you can just click on it right after this video and watch them all. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate that you took the time to watch, and have an awesome day. Bye for now.